What's up guys, SuperSaf here, and this is my 2021 setup tour. We've actually not done one of these in some times, and that's because my setup hadn't really changed over the past couple of years, but we've had a complete makeover. So let me talk you through all of the different products, all of which will be linked down in the description below. So let's initially start off with the desk itself. I've traditionally just been a regular IKEA desktop type of a guy, but over the past year, I've been spending a lot of time at home, actually all my time. And I found myself sitting for lots of hours, which wasn't really too healthy. And that's why I decided to go for a standing desk. Now, I wanted a standing desk that could also convert into a sitting desk. And that's why I went with the E8 from FlexiSpot. Now, I absolutely love the FlexiSpot. It can be adjusted from 60 centimeters all the way up to 125 centimeters. It's got 4 programmable presets. I generally just have the 2, the sitting and the standing positions. And it's so convenient to be able to switch between them just by a touch of a button. Now, one thing that's unique about the E8 is that you can get the frame separate from the desktop itself. I went with the black frame. It's also available in a white. And I went with the black desktop, obviously. It's also available in a few different options. But being able to get these separately means if you've got a specific desktop which is not available on FlexiSpot, or maybe it's a specific size or style that you can't find anywhere else, then you can just get the frame separately and attach it to that desktop. Now, for me personally, if I'm going through emails or browsing the web, standing is ideal. But if I'm editing or gaming, then standing really isn't just for me. I need to be zoned in. And for those situations, I have the Herman Miller Embody gaming chair. It's funny because I put out a tweet asking for advice for which chair to go for, and the #1 recommendation was either the Herman Miller Aeron or the Embody. Now, I went with the Embody gaming because, let's be honest, any help that I can get with gaming is needed. And man, I gotta say, I totally understand why everybody goes on about these so much. Not only is this super comfortable after long editing and gaming sessions, it also makes you sit upright because of its full spine support. And because this is a gaming chair, you also have an additional layer of foam in the seat to support a more active posture. And there's also new cooling foam technology in the seat which prevents heat buildup while you sit. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, you probably already know that Herman Miller chairs are not cheap, but if you consider the amount of time you actually spend sitting on your computer, and also the fact that Herman Miller chairs come with 12-year warranty for 24-hour usage, this is more of an investment over time. And this is also the reason why Herman Miller called this your last chair. Absolutely love this and can totally recommend it. Right, now let's move over to what's powering the setup. And that is my custom built PC. You guys might have seen my first ever PC build video that I posted last year. I'll link that in the cards and in the description. To give you a quick recap, we've got the NZX, the H1 case in matte black. It's powered by the AMD Ryzen 9 3950X processor. We've got 32 gigabytes of PNY XLR8 RAM, a Seagate 2TB 5 CUDA 510 gaming SSD. And originally, this had the ASUS Turbo GeForce RTX 2080 Ti, but I recently got it upgraded to the tough gaming GeForce RTX 3070. Now, I have to say a huge thanks to ASUS for helping me source this, because you guys know at this point in time, it's almost impossible to get a hold of graphics cards, and I wouldn't have been able to get it without them. And although the 2080 Ti was great overall, the 3070 just gives me the edge when it comes to editing, exporting, and gaming. Now, apart from that, the PC build has actually held up really well. There was an issue with the H1 case, which you may have heard. There was a fire hazard, but NZXT did send a replacement part which fixed this. Now, although this is a great case for a beginner, I do think I would go for something bigger next time. And that's because things are very tight in here. So when it comes to replacing parts, you are also limited. You can only get particular graphics cards which will fit this case. And also, you've only got 3 ports up at the front. I couldn't actually get the USB-C port to work with my motherboard, so I have to rely on a dongle. Now, Orki came to the rescue with the CBC71 USB-C hub. This is a slick little 8-in-1 hub with an SD card slot, which I use all the time, 3 USB-A ports, and it also has HDMI and Ethernet, which I actually don't use here much, but I have them if I need. Now, a lot of you guys will know that I also use Mac as well as PC, and my Mac of choice is the MacBook Pro 16-inch. Still waiting for the update of that to come around. Now, this is really useful when I'm in and around the house, when I need to use things like AirDrop. But what's awesome about this is that I can just connect it with a single USB-C port to my monitor. And my monitor of choice is, in my opinion, the absolute perfect monitor for what I do. This is the LG 38 WN95CW. That's a very long name. Basically, it's the latest 38-inch ultra-wide curved monitor from LG. And this is absolutely perfect. Now, if you watch my previous setup tour, you'll know that I had the previous model of this. And I had that for a few years because I really couldn't get myself to use anything else. So I was so glad when the new version of this came last year. I've never been a fan of multiple screen setups. I just find those overkill and distracting, and having this actually eliminates the need to have multiple screens. Now, I've used lots of different ultra-wide monitors in the past, but generally most ultra-wide monitors are very narrow, so you don't get much vertical real estate. With the LG 38-inch ultra-wide, you actually have a 21:9 aspect ratio, which means you have plenty of space to work with. If I'm editing video, I can have my main video as well as my timeline across the bottom, and I have access to all of my files. It's so practical. Now, this new version also has a 144 Hz refresh rate with G-Sync, and that means it's absolutely awesome for gaming as well. So if I want to switch between working and gaming, I can do that very easily. That's probably not the best for productivity, but anyway, absolutely love this monitor and cannot recommend it enough. Okay, moving on. For the keyboard, I have the Asus ROG Claymore 2 wireless mechanical gaming keyboard. Now, this keyboard is great. It's very high quality, but my favorite thing about it is that you've got a detachable numpad, which can go either on the right hand or the left hand side. This is great if you want it out the way when you're gaming. It's got a 1 millisecond response time, full RGB with wireless Aura Sync, a 4000 milliamp hour battery, which gives you up to 43 hours of use with lighting, or up to 144 hours with lighting off. And it also has USB-C fast charging. Now, for the mouse situation, I believe my setup is quite a bit different compared to most other YouTubers and content creators out there. For gaming, I use the ROG Gladius 3 wireless, which is super responsive. It's got tri-mode connectivity, Aura RGB lighting, a 19,000 DPI optical sensor, which can be tuned up to 26,000 DPI, as well as 5 onboard memory profiles. Now, that's for gaming, but when I'm on my usual day-to-day, and especially when I'm doing any editing, I use a graphics tablet, and I'm honestly shocked and surprised that more content creators out there don't use graphics tablets. I used to get really bad RSI, and for me, the solution was to use a graphics tablet, which really did help, and I've been using them for around 10 years now. Now, currently, I'm using the One by Wacom graphics tablet, which is really compact and minimal, and I really like that because it means that the graphics tablet isn't taking over my whole desk. It just replaces where my mouse is. And honestly speaking, the precision that you get is just unmatched by a mouse. You guys know I spend a lot of time on my thumbnails and image edits, and having the precision of a pen really helps with that process. Now, this is a wired version, which does mean I have a single cable going into my PC, which isn't ideal, but there's lots of other wireless versions available. I would definitely recommend trying one of these out if you haven't already. They're only about 35–40 pounds, which is a bargain in my opinion. Right, now for backing up all of my data, I'm actually using the Synology 1019 Plus NAS drive, and that's equipped with 5 16 terabyte Seagate Iron Wolf NAS hard drives, which are optimized for RAID. Now, before I had my Synology, my backing up process was an absolute mess. I had a bunch of external hard drives, which I would end up losing, and if there was a case where I had to find a particular project it would be such a mission. The Synology NAS has been an absolute lifesaver. It was so easy to set up with the Seagate hard drives, and I've literally had this on continuously 24/7 for around 6 months with zero issues. Now my NAS drive is actually hooked up outside of the office, but it's so convenient to be able to back up all my files and access them from my PC, my laptop, or even if I'm outside and I need to log in securely. I can't believe it took me so long to get a NAS drive set up. Now also on my desk, I do have the Nest Hub 2nd generation. This is really convenient to have on my desk so I can easily control my music, my lights, see my upcoming appointments, but most importantly, see who's at my front door. So I do have the Nest doorbell linked up, and honestly, it's amazing. If I'm on the computer and I kind of have a doorbell ring, I can see exactly who's on my front door, and I can be really quiet and ignore it if I want to, or I can just quickly answer it or run down if it is a parcel that I'm expecting. So convenient. Now, I don't actually have any external speakers on my setup. I do, however, have the Google Home Max in my office. Now, unfortunately, this has been discontinued, but I absolutely love it. It gets really loud, it's got great bass, and it easily connects with Spotify and YouTube Music. Now, when I'm generally editing or just consuming content, then the speakers on the LG Ultrawide are actually really good. You've got two 5-watt speakers. If I do need to isolate or when I'm gaming, then I do use the SteelSeries Arctis Pro wireless gaming headset. This is an awesome headset with a premium steel and aluminium build. It's comfortable, and it also has swappable batteries, so you don't actually need to charge these directly. You can charge the spare battery in the dock, and when needed, you can just swap it out and you're good to go. Now finally, for lighting, I do have Philips Hue bulbs across my house, which I absolutely love, but I didn't go with a Hue strip behind my setup this time, and that's because, honestly speaking, I just find it quite distracting. Sure, it looks great for pictures and thumbnails, but in practical use, I really don't know how people have all these lights coming on from the background. Maybe it's just me. And that is my latest 2021 setup tour. Very pleased with it. It's taken me a long time to tweak things to get them to just the way I like them. What do you guys think of it? Do drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. As mentioned, everything in this video will be linked down in the description below. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then do smash that like button for me. And if you haven't already, then be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss future coverage like this. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf TV, and I'll see you next time.